to the PI show. My name's Harry Nowicki. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I'm here together with my colleague Tony Carbone.
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Harry.
Who's also a personal injury lawyer of many years' experience. Tonight we're just talking about a whole series of cases about people who've been injured in various circumstances, plus some motorcycle accidents
Well, Harry,
down the
there's been
track.
a lot in the news of late. I mean,
There's
been some very interesting and sad stories. But the first one's a firefighter, Harry, that went into a plant in Yarraville.
Just to check out.
Just to check, and there was a fire that broke out because there was all different chemicals in the place that weren't appropriately labelled. There was no signage outside to warn the firefighters.
Isn't that a risk of being a firefighter?
No. Look, when you're dealing with chemicals, I think the law's pretty strict in terms of
Labelling.
and signage and warning signs. Now, what happened was he went in and there was a fire that broke out and he got really badly burnt. I think he got burnt to 55% of his body.
He's lucky to be alive then.
And three of his colleagues went in to get him, and they're the first three people I think that have been awarded this equivalent of, I don't know,
Bravery.
The
Bravery
Military
Awards.
Cross, whatever it is, yeah, Bravery Awards in the firefighting industry. But anyway, that's the first story, Harry, and that's.
Well, he's suing the employer. He's suing the Melbourne Fire Brigade. Why are they at fault?
Oh, because look, they've got to make sure they've got a non-delegable duty to ensure that there's proper processes and protocols in place. But I would have thought that the majority of the blame would rest with the
Occupier,
factory.
the factory. Yeah.
So, look,
it might be two wrongdoers.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
There'd be some blame on the employer.
Yep.
Harry, the second story's the one of Mr. Prest, who was working at the Grand Prix Corporation. They were cleaning up after the Grand Prix, taking everything down.
This was in 2003, Tony.
Yeah, a long time
Yeah,
ago.
long time ago.
And he got run over by a forklift, and cut a long story short, he lost one of his limbs.
But his left leg was amputated beneath the knee in 2008, and he settled his claim this year. So it took from 03 to 010 is a long time to settle a claim.
But
Tony.
initially they tried to save his leg, but the pain was so intense that...
It got worse over the years.
Yeah, he couldn't cope with the pain. So in the end, they said to him, "Look, if you want to get rid of the pain, you got to lose your leg." And it's a big decision to make. I mean, I don't think anyone would take it lightly, Harry. I mean, you'd have to consider all the options. And he finally bit the bullet.
So it was 5 years. I think 5 years after the accident, the leg under the leg beneath the knee came off, and 2010 it was in the paper with a photo, and he settled his claim out of court. Well, what do you think the claim's worth, Tony?
Probably $750,000, and that's without, around there, because he would have got a large amount for pain and suffering.
How much for pain and
suffering? Well, the statutory maximum's about $450 something, so I'd imagine he would have got about $350 to $400 for that, at least.
400 plus, in my mind.
And
loss
then
of
there's
earnings?
Loss of income in the past, which no doubt there would be, and there would be
future
an amount
loss
for the future. Look, you'd probably get... This fellow seems pretty well motivated. I think if you can get his psychological injuries in order, he'll probably do some sort of work, albeit part-time.
It's a big call, Tony.
I don't know. If you look at him, I mean, I haven't met him personally, but he seems like a pretty well motivated.
I'd say he's totally incapacitated for work. In a wheelchair.
Probably got $1 million then, Harry.
The $1 million?
Yeah, I haven't got a figure here, but I'd imagine.
It's settled out of court, and I think liability was probably conceded.
I think that's right.
Probably
that's the
conceded.
I get. That's correct.
Yeah.
So his future loss of income would have been reasonably substantial, and notwithstanding the fact that you're applying a 6% discount, Harry.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And for people to understand what that means, it's like a mortgage going backwards. Because you get your money in your hands, they say that you've got to discount it. Because money's worth more to you today than what it is over 25 years.
And 6% is a nasty figure.
It's pretty high. It used to be 3%, but when Jeff Kennett's government abolished common law in a work cover area, they
came back.
It came back. The new government brought it back, but they increased the discount rate.
Yeah.
But it's consistent with... The 6% is now consistent with TAC, Harry. Work cover and TAC are both 6%. There's another story. This is one that's been around for some time, Harry. This is the Sudanese woman that was driving that tiny car with 8 passengers in there. And she pled guilty to driving
recklessly,
She's
careless
driving
driving,
fast, under the influence of alcohol and
maybe drugs.
Yeah, I think drugs were in her system as well.
And criminally, what did she get?
Well, look, the judge wanted to lock her up, but he said that there's no jail in Victoria that could cater for her injuries. And the only jail that there is Port Phillip, but that's a men's
Maximum.
jail. Yeah. So, look, the thing is, I think in fairness, I think the judge did the right thing. She's living in shared accommodation because she can't look after herself. She's got problems with a leg, she's got problems with an arm, and I think she's a paraplegic, Harry.
Yeah. So, but there's no fault benefits she'd get from tax.
She will get no fault benefits. She'll probably get loss of income benefits for 3 years.
3 years.
That might be, it depends on what the level of alcohol was, because it cuts out after a certain amount.
You don't get loss of income.
You lose your benefits. But at the very least, she gets her medical and associated treatment, which is pretty important to her.
And an impairment?
Yeah, that might be also affected by the level of intoxication.
Not sure about that.
So,
I think loss of income, it's affected.
and
But
Harry,
the passengers, bizarrely, there was no law in Victoria preventing 8 people being in a car.
that's exactly right.
There isn't a taxi, but not in a motor car in
Well,
Victoria.
subsequent to this case, the law's been amended so that you can only carry as many passengers as there are seatbelts, which makes sense. Stands to reason.
There was a loophole in the law, and this case highlighted that sort of loophole where...
It did. It's a very tragic case because, I mean, there was 8 people in the car and my understanding is they all got pretty badly injured.
Car ran off the road and hit a tree.
It hit a tree and there was bodies tangled all over the place here.
And people sitting in the back, sitting in the front.
They were all over the place. And you can imagine with the impact, they would have been strewn everywhere. So, in fact, I'm surprised no one died.
Yeah, so the case is still going.
Yeah, it's still going.
Now-
And there's civil proceedings which are important too. The third one, Harry, and I've got to be reasonably quick here, is a
Person who died.
This is a sad case, this one. But the one I'm looking at here is a man. I'm starting to feel like Sam Newman here, getting all the papers mixed up and everything. But this is a worker that died in a 53-year-old who died trying to help a member of the public move a large plastic water tank. Now, he was crushed. There's a lot of crushing injuries in the state, isn't there, Harry?
Well, work cover deaths are still too high, Tony.
Yeah, so WorkSafe are basically saying, hey, look, it's only a small article saying you've got to be a lot more careful when you're dealing with these sorts of scenarios. I mean, so it fell on top of him. This is crazy.
But if there's a widow,
Yeah, she's got the
what rights does she have?
the penalty rights under the Wrongs Act, and she's got the no fault benefits. It's a very substantial
And
claim.
superannuation.
And the children as well. Look, we've got to go to a sponsors break, viewers. So please don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you.